All right, welcome everybody. My name is Alexis. I haven't been here for a couple months because I was really deep into the legislative session. I live in New York and we were very busy, and now I don't know what to do with my life. So reading self-help books and going to therapy, trying to figure out what, no, I'm just kidding. No, I do read self-help books, but so I'm the organizing director. I work with Suzette, and I take turns facilitating this meeting, usually when I'm not really busy with the legislative session. So we have just a couple announcements here to get started tonight if you want to check out the agenda. Shout out to Beyond Plastics Louisville. Are they here? Are they in the house? Is Pam here? I don't see Pam.
I don't see her.
But they launched a plastic-free July initiative. I know that she has been working for a long time on trying to get a skip the stuff policy in Louisville and was just not making headway. So they went straight to businesses and organizations to talk to them directly about reducing single-use plastic. And they're partnering with the Mayor's Office of Sustainability to raise awareness about the effects of plastic. So they're still organizing, even though they haven't made headway on Skip the Stuff, and hopefully this effort will lead to policy change later on down the road. The screening that they're doing, which is We Are All Plastic People Now, is really easy to do for free, and you can do it with local libraries. I don't know where they're holding it, but a lot of groups have held it with success, and it's a great way to find new people to join your groups, and to just, base build, which is a big part of campaign planning. And then also welcome to Beyond Plastics Rockland. Nice to see you, Suzanne. You're a Rockland star, Rockland star. Do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Well, it's not me who's starting this, actually, Alexis. It's Laura Graves who is on this Zoom.
Oh, hi, Laura. You want to
Yeah.
introduce yourself?
So
Hi.
I'm assisting Laura, but she's really taking the lead here.
Yeah, hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
Let's see. And then my update on packaging reduction here in New York. So I've been gone for a few months because I was deep in a grassroots campaign with Suzanne and others who are on the call, working to pass a state bill in New York called the Packaging Reduction and Recycling Infrastructure Act. This is a bill that would reduce plastic packaging 30% over 12 years. That would require the remainder of packaging to be effectively recycled at a rate of 70%. That would get 17 toxic chemicals out of packaging, including all PFAS, formaldehyde, benzene, heavy metals, phthalates, bisphenols, and others. And it would prohibit chemical recycling from counting as recycling. And it also will make big polluters like Amazon and Nestle and Coke and Pepsi and Frito-Lay pay for the waste management of their packaging, which is standard EPR. So we were fighting really hard for this bill. We had a pretty awesome grassroots campaign with hundreds of individuals and organizations. We had a memo with 370 organizations. We had 175 faith leaders supporting the bill. We had more than 20 municipalities pass resolutions in support. New York City Mayor's Office and the Comptroller and the New York City Council were in support of this bill. We had a very robust grassroots coalition that we've built over the years, and what we were doing were the activities that we do in the trainings, which are meeting with your legislators, number one, meeting with your state assembly members and state senators, calling them, getting other people to call them, writing letters to the editor. We held rallies, we did lobby days. We even had a marching band at the Capitol one day. That was really fun. We would do phone relays to the assembly speaker where we would have people calling every 15 minutes for 2 days. And that was really effective. I would love to share that with you all, how to do a call relay. And we made progress. So this is our third year doing this campaign. And I get whiplash every year in mid-June when the legislative session ends. But basically, where we left it is the Senate passed the bill 27 to no 33 to 24, something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head what the Senate bill was, but it was a healthy margin on May 28th. So it passed the Senate, and then it was sitting in the Codes Committee in the Assembly, sitting in the Codes Committee for 6 weeks. And we were pressuring the Speaker and the Codes Committee chair to let it move. Oh no, sorry. It passed out of Codes Committee. It was sitting in Ways and Means for 6 weeks after it passed Code. So it had to pass 4 different committees: NCON, Codes, Ways and Means, and then Rules. And it was the last 2 days of session. The day before the last day, it passed out of all the committees it needed to. We were sure it was going to a floor vote in the Assembly. We had the votes. We had been pestering legislators to the point that they were basically screaming at us to leave them alone, because they're grumpy sometimes, and I get that. But we knew we had the votes. In the New York State Assembly, you need 77 votes or 76 votes to get a majority. I think there's 150 members. We had 78 co-sponsors. So if you're a co-sponsor, it's assumed you're going to vote yes. And then we knew we had some votes who weren't co-sponsors on top of that. The problem was that there was a lot of money flowing through the Assembly. There were a lot of lobbyists in the Assembly parlor, and we were basically going toe-to-toe with them in those last 2 days. All the lobbyists were working on this bill, and the parlor outside the Assembly was full of lobbyists on both sides. And we had a lot of grassroots lobbyists helping us, but we also had the ACC working against us, the Business Council working against us, and they were pressuring the Speaker hard not to let the bill come for a vote, arguing that this bill was going to raise consumer prices, which in my view is really rich, coming from multinational, multi-billion-dollar corporations who set the prices in the first place. It's basically a threat saying, I'll break your arms and no, it's not that bad of a threat, but it's like, if you do this, we'll raise prices. Like, what are you going to do? They were also saying that this bill would take food off the shelves in New York, which is just not true because we know there are alternatives to plastic packaging. These companies are even using those alternatives in other countries, not here, but in other countries. And they are just basically strong-arming the Assembly. So we were unable to overcome that pressure in the end. It was really disappointing. The Speaker got cold feet. Basically, the Speaker let the bill let time run out. There's some inside baseball rules that happen. It's a very long debate, 4 hours, and the Republicans or the minority were holding up literally every bill. They were debating every single bill in that last day. So unfortunately, it did not pass the Assembly. We had to walk past all the lobbyists on our way out, and that was painful. But the good news is that Assembly rules will allow the bill to go directly to the floor in January when the legislature comes back, because it's a 2-year session. So it won't have to pass out of committee again. It can just go to a vote. So we have a lot of work left to do. If you're in New York and not part of this campaign, I would really like to talk to you. We're having an in-person meeting in Albany on September 13th in the Westminster Church, which has been a lovely ally for us. And we're going to be talking about how do we get support in the Assembly districts where Assembly members are reluctant to support this bill. So if you're not in New York, that was a bunch of inside baseball. But really, this bill is a nation-leading bill. EPR is is the hot policy in addition to chemical recycling in the States right now. And the American Chemistry Council is putting a lot of energy into passing weak EPR bills in the States that will not actually restrict the use of plastic or toxic chemicals or chemical recycling. So if you want to talk EPR, maybe we could like do a breakout room on that or whatever you guys are feeling. But that's the update from New York. And I'll pass. Suzette, do you want to do the update from California?
Can we go
Or
back
New
one
Jersey, sorry.
second? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
okay. Dana had a question. Was the Senate vote on party lines, or what was the reason for nay votes?
The Senate vote was along party lines, and there were some Democrats who also voted against it. Basically, the nay votes were all, I listened to the debate. You can listen to it online on the Senate website or on YouTube. They were all industry talking points, and some of them didn't make any sense. Like, for example, there was one senator who was saying the bill bans PVC packaging, polyvinyl chloride packaging. And there was one senator who was saying, well, we use PVC for drinking pipes. So if you're saying PVC is toxic, but it's okay for drinking pipes, why can't we ban it in plastic? And I was like, you're so close. Like, why don't let's ban PVC drinking pipes too? Like it was an interesting debate. Any other questions? What are alternatives for plastic packaging that are being used? The best alternative is to just reduce the packaging in the first place. A lot of times the packaging can be eliminated with no further need for packaging. Then there's paper, glass, and metal. And there's even new types of packaging that are made from mycelium, which can replace polystyrene like packing peanuts, and seaweed derivatives. So there's all kinds of research on alternative packaging. And then there's also product redesign, which is where like you get the water out of the product. Like for cleaning products, you can buy concentrated tablets that you just add water to make the cleaning product, and you buy one glass spray bottle and you just keep refilling it with the tablet, which is like this big compared to this big, and the shipping weight is also reduced. We're actually having a webinar on this very topic later in July. Let me grab the link for you, and it's going to be with three companies that are already doing fully plastic free packaging, plain products, Blue Land, and Useful. So check that out. Here's the link. It'll be really interesting and uplifting because it's hopeful to know there's alternatives. So for the New Jersey update, I'm totally out of the loop. Suzette, do you know what's going on in New Jersey?
Yeah, I think what we put in the agenda was if you're interested in skip the stuff legislation, New Jersey is crushing it. So they have almost 30 skip the stuff laws passed. So in the agenda, we have Lois, who's at Beyond Plastics New Jersey, her email address if you want to get involved in New Jersey, or there are amazing resources for how they're having so much success in New Jersey. So that's in the agenda. And then the other piece we have listed there, we'll try and do this quickly because I know we're kind of running over on time with announcements, is we put a link in the agenda as well for 31 days of action for Plastic Free July. So you can share that with friends and family. There's an action to take every day of this month. And then we put down at the bottom there, Judas next Beyond Plastic Pollution class, which will start September 3rd and go through October 15th. So there's a link in the agenda where you can register for that as well.
Any questions before we move on?
I'm just going to give a quick shout out to Courtney, who's here. She's a brand new affiliate as of today, our first in Alaska. And she's with Alaska Community Action on Toxics. So welcome. It's nice to see you.
All right. Well, I'm glad we got enough people here to hopefully make this worthwhile. So, just a quick bit of background before we get started on this program. If you are just starting with us or you've been with us for a while, the Local Groups and Affiliates program started back in 2021 when we were a much smaller staff. And it was me and my colleague who's now with Cottonwood Law, Megan Wolf, and we designed the program and we had no idea what we were doing, but we're like, we're going to figure it out. We know how to organize. And so we saw that there was a need for organizer training that was really skills focused and hands-on. So we designed the training and then we designed the chapters or the local groups and affiliates specifically to bring you all in, to train you as organizers and get you working locally on plastics. And at the time, Megan did the trainings and then I ran the meetings and we did campaigns. We met with our congressman people. We did Plastic Free July national actions like take backs. And we're still doing those activities, but the staffing has changed. So Megan, as I said, has gone on to Cottonwood Law. Naya has moved on as well to another nonprofit. She's moved up. And then we brought Suzette on, who was one of our OG affiliates. And I am no longer like bottom lining this program because I'm so focused on grassroots organizing at the New York State level. So there's a lot of work to do. There's been a lot of staffing changes, and we're having a retreat later this month, the Beyond Plastic staff, for this program specifically to see where is it going, what are we doing with it, what have we been doing, where are we going. So I would really love it if we could take, I don't know how long, 10 minutes, or if we're really feeling it longer, to do a SWOT analysis with you all so we could take your feedback into that retreat. So I'll just share screen. And if you don't know what a SWOT analysis is, it stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Anybody need more of an explanation than that? Hopefully we've all done this before. So put your thinking cap on and let me grab my thinking cap. Hold on. I got one. I got a good one. And let's just raise your hand or come off mute and tell us what you think is working or not working. And be brutally honest. You won't hurt my feelings. You might hurt Suzette's feelings. I don't know.
No chance.
And please just share your thoughts with us on how this program is working and what the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats are.
And I would just add really quickly, anything that you feel that you need resource-wise that we currently are not offering. Like if you feel like there's a gap somewhere that would really help you in your efforts in your community, just tell us what it is so we can kind of compile them all and see what we can do.
Hi, I'm happy to share. I'm very new. Hi, this is Haley. I'm staying off camera because it's been a really long day. But I'm very new to Beyond Plastics, though Inland Ocean Coalition has been an affiliate for some time, as I understand. But I would say that like two strengths I can already identify from very limited interactions is that, for one, Suzette was very helpful in handing off resources around policy across the country. That was kind of a very like fast need, and it was really easy to meet with Suzette and then get the things that I needed to work through what I was doing for a project. And then two, this is from Alexis, like your positive attitude in the face of this obviously quite typical disaster in the policy landscape is very inspiring and helpful these days. I've spent a lot of July just super depressed over the, big, horrible everything. So yeah, appreciating that.
Thank you. Thanks for speaking up, Haley.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Francie.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
We'll go Francine and then Stephen.
I just wanted to reinforce that last comment that it's so easy to be discouraged. And when we hear about things that have been successful or things that haven't been successful, but getting there and all the steps taken, it's inspiring and it just gives hope, which we need in these crazy, crazy times.
Great. Go ahead, Stephen.
Yeah, I was just going to say, your responsiveness has been great. When I signed up for the Action Network and I made a mistake in the spelling, I notified Suzette and she immediately took care of it. And you guys are all positive. I think your communication skills are a big strength.
Thank you. Other thoughts?
Well, I'd like to just say I think you guys are really awesome too. And I would agree with what was said. This is a really tough time in this world, and you guys are positive, and it really is beautiful. So thank you. And I will say what was in the email chat about that supermarket in France. Oh my God, did that make my day? I've been sharing that everywhere. It's really helpful to hear good news and see what can be done. And thank you for all the things you provide. So a big, big thank you to you all.
You're welcome, Louise. Anybody feel what do we need to get the work done? It is a really challenging landscape right now. First of all, there's like political chaos happening, and the environment, at least from my perspective, often gets put on the back burner of like actual fires, even though it's a slow emergency, and it is an emergency. So we need to pass laws. We've got a lot of hurdles preventing us from doing that. What do you see that we need? That's one of the goals of this program, is to pass local laws. What do you feel like you need in order to be successful that you don't have already? Maybe that's a helpful question.
So, hey,
Um,
this is, oh, sorry. So this is Susan from Columbia, Missouri region. And I was going to suggest that, and I am not sure that I do not have this access to information, but other people right around me where I can communicate with and we can cohort together.
Can you say that one more time? It's good that you have people right around you.
So, so what I'm saying is that it would be nice to know who I have around me.
Mhm.
And I'm not sure that, I'm assuming I have access to that information.
Like in your community who could organize with you.
Yes.
Okay. Dana?
Alexis, I was going to answer your question, but Susan March, I want to address yours. I'm in Saline County, Missouri. We have a statewide plastics program going. My organization and Stream Teams United does, and there is an emerging local group there in Columbia. And I will put my email in the chat, and we can connect you with them.
That sounds perfect. Thank you.
All right. I'm sorry
Appreciate
that
that.
our advertising didn't get to you, Susan. That's kind of a bummer.
Oh, it's okay. It's all good.
It's still everything's evolving now, so it's pretty new. Alexis, I was particularly struck by your what did you call it? The inside baseball explanation of what happened in New York. Like
Mm-hmm.
I realized that I mean, the New York Assembly is very different. I've learned from listening to you all over years
Mhm.
than Missouri, but like I would be super interested in some kind of a workshop that goes into that, like inside baseball type of stuff, because it's one thing to like kind of like start a campaign sort of in isolation, but one of the things that I've observed, if environmental efforts do work here in Missouri at all, and usually it's we're defending against stuff, unfortunately,
Mhm.
but like there's all manner of like inside knowledge that like unless you're part of it for years, you're not going to know. I'm not suggesting like a
Mhm.
Missouri specific workshop. I'm just saying like maybe more of a dive into like some examples like what you described about the EPR bill and like the maybe I'm just a dork about it, but like the exact like actions of the lobbyists and like all of that inside
Mhm.
information that like unless you're at a state capitol almost every day,
Mhm.
people don't know it.
Okay. I love that idea. Thanks, Dana.
I have something.
I don't know who said that, but go ahead.
It's Alan.
Go ahead, Alan.
Thank you. SWOT analysis, strength is also the website. I've learned a great deal from that, as well as the exceptional response from the people I've been in touch with since I've been involved over the past 2 months. So that is certainly a strength. Only suggestion I have is for the training. I took the training, both parts, about 5 weeks ago. The second part spent a little bit too much time, in my estimation, on a single example in somewhere in New York State, which was worth reviewing. It's just it got a little bit windy, a little bit long. It may have been better. I'm only saying this for the sake of possibly improving it. In the spirit of that is trying to get other testimonials from people on this group that are willing to be concise and add a little more versatility to it, a little bit more of a cross section.
Mhm.
I would like to just second what Dana mentioned. Say you're not the only nerd looking for stuff like that. And I see that Dana put her email into the chat as well. And I wonder, is there like a listserv with Beyond Plastics? Because I saw that, I got the email from Alexis saying, okay, the Zoom link is, use this one, not that one. But a lot of networks that I'm involved in, and maybe I'm just not on the listserv, but a lot of networks I'm involved with, it's like anybody can put
Mhm.
an update into the listserv and everybody gets it. I don't know if
Yep.
that's available, but that's super helpful.
We have a Google group.
Okay. Oh, Google.
Um, I don't, Suzette, I haven't managed the Google group for a while. That was Naya's role, and maybe this is something that has just fallen through the cracks. But are you managing the Google group now?
Yeah, so when somebody joins as a local group or an affiliate, I add them to the Google group. So some emails need to be verified. So sometimes you'll get an email and you have to click through and verify that it's you. But if you have Gmail, and I found if it's Earthlink, they'll let me add them right away. So then you're automatically a part of that community to kind of do exactly what Haley's talking about. Yeah. I haven't put anyone in there that's not a local group or an affiliate, so maybe that's a question to address.
Yeah, I'll look into the Google group. I'm not as familiar with that, but I just get a ton of emails from like public lands, everything. So, yeah, maybe it's a better way of organizing it even.
Yeah, and Haley, I'm happy to add you if you would like.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
But also, I don't know if a directory is So is that a directory then where everybody's emails who's involved is like available if we do want to, reach out to people or, okay, cool.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with Google Groups, Stephen, do you have a comment for this?
Yeah,
the
I was
group?
just thinking of, like I'm in the reuse base camp group and we can put in messages daily if we need to. And they will go out to whoever you select, a whole group or a partial group.
So maybe an opportunity here is we need something a little more sophisticated than Google Group. Let's look at that. Hold on. Because the need is for you all to be able to talk to each other. For the LGAs to talk to each other. All right, I will show the Google group at the end of this analysis for anyone who wants to see / learn how to use that. Yeah, Basecamp. We used to use Slack, but nobody used it. So we quit using Slack. So good point. So the groups being able to collaborate more, anything we can do. Other ideas? Critiques? Words of
It would be helpful
wisdom?
in the training to say more about how one goes about deciding at the local level whether local initiatives with community groups or going to a statewide process gets you more leverage, gets you more bang for the buck. How do you make those kinds of decisions on the ground as to where to prioritize your efforts?
Mm. I'm gonna put that in too. So training on coalition building. Okay.
Hey, Alexis, can I just ask the group one other question?
Yep.
I'm wondering if anyone has thoughts on how you'd like to spend your time together here on a monthly basis.
Mhm.
So typically we do announcements, we send out an agenda, and then we'll break out into groups. If there's another format that you think works better, or if there's a different way how you want to spend your time and connect and share with each other, you can either tell us now, feel free to send me an email. I'll drop my email in the chat. As ideas come up, please just send them our way.
I would just say it'd be nice to let people in groups stay on after the main group may end, because sometimes we've been ended in the mid-sentence sometimes. So that might be something to consider, a way to let groups who want to stay on just a little longer.
Sure, we can definitely easily do that. All right, so it's 7:46. I think what I'll do is we can stop here. If you think of anything else, just put it in the chat. And I'll put this out via email to everyone. So if you're not in the meeting or you think of something else, you can just send it right to me and Suzette, and then we'll take it to that staff retreat, which we're having on the 30th of this month. So let's go to our breakout rooms for the last 15 minutes or so, or you can stay on longer if you want. We're gonna do plastic bands and artificial turf. So I think we were gonna have the artificial turf be their own room. Was that the plan, Suzette?
Yeah, I think so. That seems what typically works well.
All right, let me set that up. And then I will add a room for Google Groups. So if you want to learn how to use the Google group, you can go there with me. So go ahead and choose your room. If you want to talk about plastic bands, stay here in the main room. If you want to go to artificial turf, you can go to that room, or you can go to the Google Groups room. And if you need help, just raise your hand and we can assign you. Okay, lots of great suggestions in the chat. I'm going to capture those real quick.
Hey, Diane, what were you saying?
can somebody see if Kathy Michaels is in the waiting room? She's been trying the different links to get in.
This is Louise Lipsy. I can't get in anything. I'm on an iPad and I'm not seeing any possibility for joining. Sorry about that.
I don't see anybody waiting in this link in this room.
So I
And
would,
I'm still
I
not
would,
seeing the breakout rooms.
I'm not either, but I was waiting for 15 minutes before I saw the email that said, oh, it's not working, use this link. So maybe the people who can't get in didn't see that email about the other link.
That could be, because I
Yeah.
don't see anyone we don't have anyone in the waiting room here. Suzette, your email is just Suzette Munley, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh,
And
and
in breakout rooms.
And where's the link for the breakout rooms?
yeah, I can't find it either. It's not, I'm on an iPad today and I can't find it.
So it's at the bottom. If you might have to hit more,
Ah,
I did.
you'll see breakout rooms.
Mine's not showing
No.
up.
Not there.
All right, where do you
No.
want to go, Louise?
I'm sorry. Oh, I want the artificial turf.
Okay, let me put you in artificial turf.
Thank you. I'm sorry, it's not showing up today.
That's all right. Anyone else want to go to artificial turf? Just raise your hand. Okay, Diane, I'll put you there. I don't know why you all can't see it. We're just having
I
technical
know.
issue after technical issue.
I know.
Okay, anyone else want to go to artificial?
I'd like to go to Google Groups.
Okay, that was Francine, right?
Yeah,
Okay, Francie.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to go to Google Groups?
I just put Laura in.
Okay, Kathy, Suzanne, and Francie and
And-
Cheryl. Okay, one sec. Let me get you guys there.
Francie, right?
Yes, Francie. Okay,
I
one
got
sec.
her.
Oh, she got her. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go over to Google Groups. There's only 2 people in did anyone else want to go to artificial turf? Paul, I'll send you over there.
I'd like to go to the Google groups.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, anyone else before I go? Sorry about this. I just feel like this is a circus where a parade
Okay.
where like somebody fell down in front of the float and now the horses are all running into each other.
What's the discussion for the people that remain here? No, not artificial turf or Google groups?
Plastic bans.
Okay,
Well,
that's fine.
and it can be anything that you want to talk about, anything that you're working on. Is anybody else in this room wanting to go to Google Groups or Turf? Okay, we have a little one there joining us, starting them young. All right, I think everybody's where they want to be. Sorry again, everyone, for the confusion. Who wants to kick us off and talk about where they're at or share what they're working on and how it's going?
I can go. Hey,
Hi, Andrea. Nice to see you.
nice to see you. Suzette and I became speakers together.
Yeah.
Suzette passed the class first. She was amazing. So, and I have to admit, Suzette, I have been doing a number of presentations and I have not put them into the spreadsheet. Is that bad?
That's okay. That's all right. We'll get there.
Yeah, I've just been like going.
Yeah, well, that's what happens, right?
Yep. So I'm working on a number of plastic initiatives because I feel like I'm wearing a gazillion hats at the moment. But I am working on a skip the stuff ban locally. And who was it that said that they were on an uphill battle with it? Because I just feel like, I mean, one of the reasons that I'm working on it is because I'm involved in way too many things and I don't have a ton of time. And I feel like skip the stuff is just the easiest legislation to pass. Like it makes so much sense. I've gone in and spoken to a number of the restaurants in my hometown and they're all like, well, I'm already doing that. And like they are, because I mean, there was only one restaurant that it was a Chinese restaurant takeout and they didn't speak a lot of English. So they didn't really understand what I was saying. But everybody else is just like, yeah, I'm saving money. And so I don't know why it's a hard ban. I feel like it makes a lot of sense.
And you feel that the reason that they're jumping on board is economic because it saves them money.
Yeah, for the most
Yeah.
part. Obviously, you know, they also realize the environmental benefits. But there was one restaurant in particular I hadn't been to in ages. It was a sub shop, and they used to always, when you would order a salad, give you the pita bread with, you know, the silverware in it. And she said, "Oh no, we stopped doing that during COVID." I was like, she's like, "Yeah." I asked her how much money she was saving. She really didn't know, but she knew she was saving a lot of money.
Right. Oh, that's great. So what tips would you give others that are working on it that aren't quite as successful or haven't found the success quite yet as you have?
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that we're successful yet because we're bringing this to our town meeting in May of 2026. So I have almost a year to go before it actually gets there. Um, but I don't know. I just feel like it's really easy. And so I've got a couple of neighboring towns that I'm working on it with me. And one of the women is taking on a black plastic ban, which I would love to jump on board with that. But like I said, I am just stretched too thin, so I'm not doing that with her. But she's gangbusters on that. So I would love to hear from anyone who is struggling. And I live in Massachusetts, but I grew up in New Jersey. And so I'm on a Google thread with a whole bunch of people from a whole bunch of different organizations. And they sent me information about Red Bank, New Jersey, which is right near where I grew up. So it was exciting. I'm like, oh my God, I've eaten at some of these restaurants.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Anybody else here working on Skip the Stuff?
I am a little bit. I'm on the Michigan City, Indiana Sustainability Commission board, and that's one of our new projects is to go basically door to door to the restaurants in the downtown area and encourage them to put up signage around like not including single-use plastics, asking people for if they want a straw before just like putting it down on the table like that. And I think for us it's a lot about just like having those conversations. So I agree, Andrea. It's kind of been it's really easily rewarding that you start to have conversations and you see it on people's faces about why it's important to do it and all that. So we're just getting it just started for us with that initiative in Michigan City.
Well, so obviously Beyond Plastics has a lot of resources, but I also have a lot of resources if you need any.
Thank you.
Mary?
Yeah, so I'm from Monterey, California, which is the central coast of California. And we have pretty active Surfrider Foundation chapters. And Surfrider does have a national platform for ocean-friendly restaurants, but it really could be any waterway-friendly restaurants. And it encompasses encouraging the restaurants to switch to reusables for all of their eat-in dining. And then also the second level is for and then not to use any plastic and to use, paper or other compostable things for their to-go and not using any plastic bags for the to-go orders. So I just put a link in the chat and you can that's to the national one. And there is a document in there, a PDF that really describes the entire program there. And so what they do if they sign into that is they get on our chapter's list of local ocean-friendly restaurants, and then also they get a sticker to put in their window or however they want to promote it. They can put little table tents up that they, by their register or on the tables. So that people understand, because we're right next to the ocean and plastic into the ocean is a huge problem in our community. The other program that I'm personally wanting to pilot with our county plastics coalition is a BYO, which is a bring your own reusables takeout containers when you go and you get something in a restaurant. And there's a framework for it that I put up earlier in the and it's another awareness thing where it is legislation, it's a law in California now that customers are allowed, they can't be denied to use their own container, which is great after COVID. So coffee cups, fine. Grocery stores, you can go into the deli and have them put your meats and cheeses and whatever into your own containers, or when you go for takeout. And so I want to create that here in Monterey County as well. Because my whole thing is, we need to turn off the tap. Yep.
Yeah, that's amazing. I am actually speaking later in this week to a graduate student at Columbia who wants to learn all about the language around bringing your own container, what's compelling to people. Any chance I can connect you if they're interested?
Yeah, absolutely. I found the right link. Let me pop it in the chat right now. This program started off in Canada, and we had a gal. I used to live in Silicon Valley, not too far from here, and we had a gal, Zero Waste Chef. You may have heard of her. She's kind of a big thing on Instagram and other social media, and she's written a book. But she has family in Canada, so she got hooked in with them, and then she created a BYO for Silicon Valley. And then there's this whole US Reduces org that is promoting this stuff in the US.
Thanks so much for putting that in there. That's super helpful.
But yeah, you're welcome to contact me personally if you want. I haven't launched our pilot yet, but I'm trying to find a place that does a labor-friendly, non-plastic sticker that I can use for this program, because to put in a plastic sticker seems like a complete, bad thing to do.
Understood. I know Christina, who probably most of you know, when she went searching for banners for our local groups and affiliates, it was just this massive project to try and find somebody that would make a banner that had no plastic in it. She succeeded, but it's not easy. It's not easy to find these simple things without plastic being a part of it.
Yep. And we try to find ethical and union made if possible for those, printing places.
What's your time frame, May?
I think we're kind of probably by the end of the summer. Unfortunately, with the whole geopolitical thing, I could not get my act together this spring to do this in time for Plastic Free July, but we can do it soon after that.
Well, keep us informed so we know what's going on. It'll be good to follow that progress.
Also, I will add, for alternatives to plastic, I did order a shirt from a company called Toad & Co., which makes women's clothing. And I got my garment in a bag that was non-plastic, and they had verbiage on there saying, this is not a plastic bag, and we're doing it, we're trying not to have plastic. And because they need it to be able to do their whole the business that they do, right? The way that they package things. So they need things separately packaged, but there is a company out there, and I can't find where I put the bag just now, but Toad & Co., look for them. They're trying. So hopefully they'll be successful.
That's a good share. I see Kathy made it in here. I'm just going to get her into turf. Feel free, anybody who wants to share next can step right up and do so.
Yeah, so if you can put me in synthetic turf. Sorry, yeah, we
Yeah.
had a power outage here, so, okay, thanks.
It was actually probably our our issue, not yours.
Oh, okay. All right, so here I go.
Yeah, our Kathy, are you still there? No, good. Okay. All right. Technology is not on our side today. All right, what else? Who else would like to talk a little bit about what they've got going on? We have Lois here from New Jersey. As we were saying, they have 30 Skip the Stuff passed, and she's here, but she can't get her volume on, so she can't share with us all of her magic that's making it happen. But we do have her contact information in the agenda so that you can reach out to her directly.
So in Alaska, we've got a couple of things going on. Courtney's picking up her kids from camp right now. She is launching Plastic Free 907. She put some of that in the chat, kind of modeled after, I can't remember the zip or the area code, but Miami, Florida, which with permission from them. So she's working on a single-use plastic sort of phase out in Anchorage, Alaska. And then we have a bill, it's stuck in Rules Committee. Waiting for next session to start. It's House Bill 25, which would ban the completely ban the use of polystyrene or styrofoam takeout containers in restaurants within the entirety of the state, with a few little amendments. Certain things like are extremely rural. If they can prove a burden of cost or a burden of business, then they can get waivers, but it would still make a huge reduction. And in that also is language that would allow restaurants in the state to use your packaging that you bring in, that bring your own, and put the food in there for you as well. So there is some language in there that would make that legal and safe for the restaurants to do also. And then we're also we're really getting started in this this particular space. And we're also working on hopefully some language for the Anchorage Borough Assembly. We're going to start in Anchorage. I actually live on the Panhandle way down in Southeast. I'm about 1,000 miles from Courtney, but for Skip the Stuff. So we have a few things, and a lot of the ideas actually came from Beyond Plastic. So that was really cool.
Wonderful. Thanks so much for sharing. Hey, quick question. HB 25, the polystyrene ban, is that just for restaurants, or is there anything in addition to that? No.
Right now, it's just for restaurants. It took, I think, 6 years for us to get an AFFF PFAS ban. So we're kind of baby stepping, one industry, one type of plastic at a time.
Yeah.
It passed through committee so quickly. I mean, we really thought it was going to hit the floor before session ended, but the finance committee was just, House Finance specifically is just a circus, and they're all just a bunch of performing monkeys trying to get their votes. So it turned into just a huge mess. So it's stuck in Rules Committee currently.
Did you get pushback from the restaurants?
Just a couple, more the Anchorage Chamber. But thankfully I used to own a business for over 20 years here on the island, a grocery store. And so I spoke a lot on the business side, so that was helpful.
Yeah, that's awesome. Mary, you have a question?
What was the chamber's opposition to this?
The businesses, it's going to cost the businesses money. And so I did a full financial breakdown using one.
Just said it.
No, they had no data. So I did the work, I did the data. I only used one supplier, and Alaska actually has, well, I mean, there's suppliers everywhere, right? And you can even get more eco-friendly stuff on Amazon, which I don't shop at, but people do. But we have a company also called Green Alaska Solutions that provides to most of Alaska's restaurants already. So I just took the most common one, which is food services, FSA, and I did a cost comparison, and the largest difference was the full-size entrees at 10 cents per container, but the average cost difference was 1 to 2 cents per container. They tried to say that, oh, it's not just 10 cents, but if you take that largest amount and you say, I have 1,000 containers at 10, or 10,000 containers at 10 cents a pop, that's $1,000. If your bottom line is going to break for $1,000, then you're just not running your business well.
Yep. Very good.
Bravo. Courtney?
Hey, thanks, Brittany. I just got to the camp. I have 8 minutes till they start charging me more. So I figured I would jump in. Thank you, Brittany. I wanted to just kind of touch on like whoever had asked about refilleries and working with the refillery. Like we have a really good partnership with them and they've been really supportive. They've pledged 1% of their next quarter's earnings to plastic free 907, which I want to use that money to buy glass cups with glass straws for coffee. And also I wanted to touch on this plastic free sticker, because that's the other thing is we need a sticker or something to be slapping on everything. And yeah, it obviously cannot be plastic. So I want to take the money from that, buy a ton of cups, sell them for not that much markup, but start getting people really comfortable with bringing their own cup for iced coffees and smoothies and whatever else they're using them for. We have a huge local coffee chain that I have a meeting with on Friday to kind of pitch this idea, and hopefully they'll be on board too, and they can slap their logo on there, and then we have the plastic free on the other side, or and use their social media and their resources too to really reach their customer base. Hey, bring your own cup. We're creating a huge mess. I mean, they won't say that, but we're doing our part to fix this plastic mess. So yeah, that was just the other two things I wanted to add.
What material are you using for the cups? Is it like a ceramic or a metal or
No, glass.
glass? Okay.
Yeah, and this local coffee shop, they did a push a while back. They release new merch every 6 months, and the glass cups. I was actually working for them while I was before this job. But they sold out so quick, and people loved them. They're so cute, yada yada. So kind of also I really clicked on that link for the bring your own insert, so I think that could be another campaign for us too, is just getting people really comfortable with bring your own Tupperware for your leftovers, bring your own cup, bring your own whatever, straw, napkin,
Do you think
container.
you could do
And
etching on your glasses for the branding?
I was just on a website. Yeah, the etching would be a great if Kaladi doesn't go for my proposal, then yeah, I think that's a great option to buy them from somebody that'll etch the logo on.
You guys have a lot going on, Courtney and Brittany. That's awesome.
I had one more piece of news from California. So on banning things, right? So bag bans, we had a statewide bag ban for grocery stores. And then the grocery stores kind of worked around it by the legislation originally had a thickness so that it only applied to those really thin ones. And so we passed legislation that just went into effect this year that now closes that loophole. So they can't put out those thicker plastic bags that claim to be reusable that most people don't reuse. So those are gone now from California. They can't use those. And we also had, we started as of this year, they call them pre-sale plastic bags, but it's like your produce bags in the grocery store. So now, as of January 1st in California, they have to be compostable. They can't use plastic anymore. So that's a couple of really great wins that you can look to the model in California and see if that would fly with your area.
That's helpful. I know my colleague Susan Keefe in Southern California is really working on enforcement. Seems that there's a lot of laws that are passed that are not necessarily being enforced. One is polystyrene. So she's doing a lot of work around trying to get that enforced, kind of across the board.
Yeah.
Anyone else like to share where they're at, have questions, what they're working on? Did you guys end over there, Alexis?
Yep, we did.
Okay. All right. Hi, Kathy. Nice to see you.
Hi, we've been working here in near Cleveland, in the Green Team to prepare to work with specific restaurants to skip the stuff. Rather than go just straight to legislation, we're hoping that working with the restaurants, getting the project off its ground and getting them to buy into it and be successful, and show that with data that they are saving money and those kind of things and happy with it, hopefully. By doing that, we can spread the word to other restaurants and hopefully then work on legislation that way. And we've had a lot of searching going on. We've kind of felt we had to really put our own whole toolkit together about this. So because we really couldn't find any out there about what steps to do step by step with the restaurants, what meetings, how many meetings, what to discuss, paperwork and charts and things that the people can use who are working to advise them on how to make the changes, how to train the people. I really couldn't find much on that, so we have been working hard to create our own and have put together almost, we're going to finalize the packet next week, and then we're going to be using it to hopefully start working with restaurants. I don't know if anybody else has done that or if they have a toolkit they already put together like that, but we couldn't really find any, so we've been working hard to try to get one put together ourselves.
I know Lois can't come off of her mute, but I have to imagine that she probably has quite a few things that they've used in New Jersey. So maybe if you two can connect, or I can connect you via email, that might be a good resource for you. Kathy, where are you again? Remind me.
In Shaker, we're a Cleveland Heights Green Team. It's near Cleveland.
Got it. Have you had any initial conversation with restaurants yet or not yet?
I myself haven't. My partner, we only have two of us working on this, has mentioned it to a few because she goes out. I don't eat out, so she knows some of the owners and she's talked to them and they sound like they're interested in doing it. So we do have that. And I have gone and asked questions to restaurant managers about what they were doing and found that some of them have already made some steps that are similar, but they're not set in stone. So some people will ask and some people won't, and there's no rules really being used. So hopefully by using, what we want to do is make it a rule that everybody has to do this in the restaurant who's working there and have it used that way.
It's great. Thank you. Anybody else? Did we wear you out earlier, asking you so many questions, making you jump through hoops, finding the meeting?
I guess the other thing is there are movies that we can stream in a venue here that are free. I think you mentioned we're all plastic people now. Are there other ones that are available, or are there some that you can recommend? Plastic People is another one. Is there a recommendation and how we might get some of the other ones, or any comments or guidance on the movies and the screenings?
So we have a list on our website. I think that Alexis might be pulling that up now to drop in the chat maybe.
Yes, a few of them, but I forgot what I saw now. Let's see.
Kathy, if we don't get it in the chat, I can send it to you in an email.
Okay. Are there several that are free screenings? And if there are, how would we go about trying to set that up? Because we're hoping to maybe do that in the next couple of months.
Yes, there's a couple that you can screen for free, and they're in that guide that I just put in the chat.
Okay.
In the 6-week class, there was a great video of the interview with the author of a microplastics book with the bunch of the current research. I don't know if that's available for distribution freely, but it's absolutely terrifying. So you want to know more about microplastics? Let me look on your list and see if it's on there.
Mary, what's the name of the one you're talking about?
I don't remember the name of it, but it was part of
Okay.
the spring Beyond Plastics class. And it was
it Erica Sereno?
It was a man that wrote a book.
Matt Simon?
Say that one more time.
Could be Matt Simon.
That sounds more familiar. I tend to think it was something that she added in, that it's not on the standard agenda, but it was in this past spring's class.
In the training class.
The Beyond, yeah, the
Beyond Plastics course through Bennington.
Yeah.
You can reach out to Arrow to ask what that was, if you have their email. I can pull it up.
She sent they sent a lot of emails, so as a coordinator.
Yeah, Arrow will know what it is.
Yeah, okay. Good deal.
All right, so sounds like this room is wrapped up. Suzette, if you want to go, I can just leave the Zoom open so that the artificial turf room can keep going, and I'll just come back and close it out later.
Okay. All right. Well, it was really nice to see everyone. Thanks for bearing with us, and have a great rest of the night. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.